Speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
And now, Reality Rings with Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hey, we are live. We are doing Mixed Martial Mindset. It's been a few weeks, Fitch. How are you, brother?
Been good. Been busy. Been good.
You know, we were just talking a little bit off air, and I admire the fact. Yeah, he said, you know what? I haven't caught a lot of news. I haven't watched anything outside of like the mainstream MMA stuff or BKFC. I don't know what's going on in the background. I've been spending time with my kids. Hey, guys, that's important. And I just want everybody to know.
Actually living, yeah.
Yeah, living your life is damn well important. Now, look, my life is completely absorbed in this right now. I get up in the morning. I get ready for my show. I do a 2-hour show. Today I do a guest spot over at Making Sense of the Madness once a week. Sometimes I sit in and actually host. I end up hosting the Valentine's Day show. Fitch, let me tell you something. I thought it was going to be an easy gig, right? If you guys have seen the Valentine's Day show, it's a train wreck. All right, first segment's not bad. There's
the massacre, St. Valentine's Day massacre.
So here's the deal. On that show, I basically show up. I wear the suit jacket, okay? And we got 4 commercial breaks. It's over an hour. It's very much more along the lines of like basic news. So they book guests. And I guess every year they have a Valentine's Day themed show. And don't worry, we're going to get to this crash in Ohio, guys, because it's wild. And that's all I'm going to say about it before we get there. But yeah, this is breaking news. And this is an hour-long show, so buckle the truck up. So I get in there, first guest I've had before. He's a regular contributor to the show, really easy to talk to, money manager, somebody I can discuss the economy, crypto, gold, silver, savings. We have a good 15-minute segment. Now, my second segment is with a woman named Lee Valentine. Get it? Valentine's Day, Lee Valentine. She works with the network. God love her. But she's also ultra MAGA, and I'm stretching out 2 segments of her beauty product, and being at Mar-a-Lago, and also being at the Diamond and Silk Memorial for Diamond that passed away. And that's about as heavy as I could get the questions. And even when I tried to make it about news and those questions, it didn't roll. You know, it wasn't very comfortable. Padded a lot of it. Now, here's where it gets really good. Final segment, again, they have this person on Valentine's Day all the time. Final segment, John, is with AskDrLove.com. So I think that this is going to be very easy. And then I start reading the bio just before the segment. And I realize this woman is connecting with her dead loved ones. So the book... It gets even more wild, John. I got a good 20 plus minutes to burn on this segment.
Great.
Right?
It's like Bill Murray in Ghostbusters when he's on that panel with all those people.
So, hey man, I do my best, right? I go through it, I get with it, and then by the end of, like, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? We'll go to commercial. I got like, I can do a 6-7 minute monologue on love. It's Valentine's Day. It's the strongest part of the show, in my opinion, folks, just to let everybody know. But before any of that comes up, I ask her, John, well, this is a best-selling book. Are you going to bless the world with another book? And she's like, I'm so glad you asked me about that. And she was talking about spirit energy of not only people, but animals. So her next book, John, her next book is going to be how to connect with your dead pets and animals that you love. All right.
Nice. I could use some of that.
Hey, listen, man, I'll tell you what, man, every once in a while, I'll see a commercial with dogs that, since I've had several that look like my old dogs, and that hits me. It hits me very hard. I'm not going to lie. Those were like real companions and stuff like that. But you know how I feel. I'm a realist. I stick to what I can prove. I'm not telling you guys not to have spiritual experiences, but here's my advice to everybody. Just like John is spending time with his kids and his family and doing stuff, live your life now, because you never know when it's going to be over. Okay, so check this out. This is wild. I'm not insinuating anything. I want to make that very clear. 5 people killed in twin-engine plane crash in Arkansas are identified as environmental consultants who were en route, to investigate deadly metal factory explosion in Bedford, Ohio. Now, we've reported a little bit on the show of the odd happenings at all these different manufacturing facilities that are blowing up, and food facilities, and really infrastructure. Now, this one...
Now you have planes falling out of the sky that are carrying people investigating those said mysterious burnings.
And, by the way, think about it. People lost their lives in that explosion. If you look at the thumbnail, that's just one of the gentlemen right there that passed. He just went to work that day, just like he did year after year, day after day, week after week, and not thinking any of this was possible. Now, I'm not saying that this is planned sabotage. I don't know on any level, whether it's the factory explosion or now the plane crash of a twin.
There's negligence.
Could be. You just never know. You don't know.
Bureaucracy grows so big and gets so ballooned that nothing actually gets done. Money just gets spent. Money changes hands. People get told what to do. Nothing ever gets fixed, and then you have an accident.
And we've looked at our infrastructure recently, Fitch. It's crumbling all over. Like, even in I live in a nice town. My roads are shit. I don't know about yours. Like, really. When you look at this, look, I think a lot of this also feeds into the narrative. I think with all these trains that are derailing, too. First of all, we haven't talked about that yet. And we should. Because obviously people are lying about that. There's no reason for any of those people to be there right now. In fact, I would tell them to leave. Take at least a 3 to 6 month vacation. Now, if you have to quit your job, so be it, especially if you have kids. Talk to whatever friends, family you have, loved ones, to set up a situation for now, and then go back. That's what I would say, to start. Yeah, I mean, what's your life really worth?
Yeah, just get out of town. Don't wait for an extra arm to start growing. Don't wait for superpowers.
There are no superpowers. The superpower is people are saying that they're coughing up blood. Okay, that's the superpower. Get the mother truck. If I was in a fucking 30-mile zone of that place, there's no way I would be. That's the only. If I was outside of 30 miles, maybe I would stick it out. But I would still be thinking in the back of my head, hey, maybe it's time to get out of here because these people don't give a mother truck about us. Yeah,
immediately, like you gotta get there. Any excessive amount of smoke in the air, and you gotta start thinking about getting out.
I think it's more than smoke. You see
what's. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even if it's just smoke, because like we're in California, so if there's fires happen all the time here, and they get smoky. It's like that's enough sometimes to make you like start wearing the mask and turn on the air in the house and stay inside and be a little extra cautious.
I think the most disturbing thing about the train derailment in particular is that they didn't have to blow it up. And the media first made it sound like the train derailed, went on fire, and blew up. And really what happened was the train derailed, There were small fires that were contained. They had a containment unit on it, and then they were told to shut off the containment unit and have a controlled burn. That should just let everybody take a look in the mirror, guys. I want everybody to take a look in the mirror and say, look, I need to take care of me because the people in charge don't give a fuck about me. They don't care about you. If they will do that to those people, they will literally burn anybody. They don't care. They're lying to everybody right now. And what's the environmental impact of this fire, right? What is it? We don't know. You can't trust these people. So, I mean, come on, guys. Now's the time to really think about it.
They'll put together a group of people to investigate themselves.
So, there's a video here I wanted to play. Oh, not this one. We'll play that one in a minute. Of this woman, because the World Health Organization, John, the people we love, the authoritative sources out there, the good people at YouTube and the World Health Organization love each other, are trying to pass this pandemic treaty. Remember that back in May, and it failed, and it would essentially give them all of these new powers, and the debunking was, well, it's you don't have to sign on if you don't want to, and you don't have to do these things. Yet all of the revisions were written by people within the United States, as if we're not going to adhere to them, okay? Well, the new round is on the table, okay? And I'd also like to say I think it's also extremely suspicious. Again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but in that little town of East Palestine, they just gave them all digital IDs via a pilot program where they were going to monitor them Internet of Bodies style just before it all happened. Just before it all.
Look at this cool thing we're going to do for you.
Yeah.
We're going to monitor you 24/7.
So let's just let this woman talk.
Economic Forum website, as of May 2023, 36 countries worldwide will have smart city governance initiatives. Surveillance monitoring, analysis, reporting technology. You'll have a digital ID that will track in real time your shopping, your entertainment, your activities, and your carbon footprint. You'll also have a 15-minute travel limit without a permit. A permit to travel. And if you exceed any of these things, you'll be denied access to daily activities. Obviously, no one would move into one of these cities voluntarily, but they don't have to, because the laws governing Agenda 2030 land development allows the government to seize polluted land and move their residents to these smart cities. If you're living somewhere where your land and water is poisoned, you don't get an option to opt out. Where has land and water been poisoned recently? According to the World Economic Forum.
I mean, it's a good question. And it just seems like the norm, and nobody cares.
No, they are trying to normalize it. It was something I was looking in my bills today, and in my PG&E bill or whatever. They send little updates, little reviews of like how much energy you're using and how good you're doing. Are you in the good range or the whatever? And they give you a little color or whatever to like give you a little dopamine spike or serotonin injection, so you get all excited that you did good on your energy expenditure. And they'll break it down as like, oh, this quarter you saved this much poundage in gas, and you saved this much in electricity, you saved this much in water, whatever. So like they're getting you used to tracking usage, like down to a pretty finite amount. Like, I think that's what that is. Like, programming you to get used to those numbers and seeing those numbers and understanding that, okay, I'm spending this much every month with my usage. So when they start breaking down like more cost per usage, it's going to make sense to you. You're not going to complain.
Well, not only that, I've also noticed the move in the new progressive commercials that they're running. It's the one where they're on the news. It's a parody of a newsroom, and they go to the story of the day, and the unexcited Asian man's there. But what they slip in is, he's using the program where we basically track, trace, and database everything he does, and he's driving less, so he's saving more. So now when you drive less, and instead of just that flat monthly fee, how much do you want to drive your car? Oh, you're driving too much. All of a sudden, you're going to be paying $500-$600 a month. And then the person who gets to keep a car but only drives like 100 miles or less every month, they're going to pay like 50 or 60. drive less. You know, those will be the small incentives that they're already kind of putting into place. I want to reiterate how much the World Health Organization, the United Nations, and none of these people care about you, especially the U.S. government, because this is a story that's been out there now. We haven't done a show where it locks it in. I'd say it's probably about...
We've known this. We've known it since it happened. It was never a question. Like, everybody always knew, yep, we did it. We are the ones that did it. Joe Biden said we were going to do it, and he did it. It was done. We knew it. We all knew, oh, whoop, we did that. But now conspiracy theorists win one more. One more.
It's not. All right, here's the deal. This is what I need people to see. And you see all that smoke that's coming off there? That a lot of that is the apparent poison, carbon dioxide. Now, if the United States government and all of its allies actually believed that the sea levels were going to rise and we were all going to die, they would never have done that, because it would have spelled for the global Armageddon. And yet they want to regulate you based on carbon. Think about how many literal leaps of logic you have to do. So they're saving us from Russia by destroying the world, according to them. This is how you know they hate you, and they're completely lying to you all the time. I mean, seriously, and they treat you like a child.
Everything is a complete lie.
I mean, a child could figure that one out, period. And they need to, because this is a big deal. And by the way, we're going to end up leaving YouTube in probably about 15, 16 minutes, because there's so much I want to talk about via these new mainstream revelations that I still can't talk about on this channel because they'll ban it. Period. Mm-hmm. I try not even to talk about the COVID 1984 stuff anymore, and especially can't do it.
Yeah, no, you still get warnings, still get strikes, all that type of stuff on Instagram and YouTube, demonetized. Yeah, you still can't talk about facts. Still can't talk about things that you can read about in the paper.
And it's amazing to me because so on Saturday night, my brother came up from New York for the weekend, and we went out and we watched some comedy out in Wisconsin, actually. Okay, so we went and saw Kurt Metzger. And you know Kurt Metzger's on the Jimmy Dore show all the time. And I was talking to him about how I've been demonetized for like 3 years, and they've taken my channel 5 times, and literally over 50 videos have been restricted. I mean, we've gone down the line on the show, and you could see all of them that they pulled. They pulled a ton of videos. We got thousands on the channel still. That should show you how ridiculous this is. And he goes, well, what are they getting pulled for? And I said, well, medical misinformation and Epstein were the main ones. And he kind of like brushed it off and didn't think it was possible that I was just reading from like I must have been shooting conspiracy theories and stuff like that, right? But if you read the one line, that
must have been something outrageous, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I explained that I got the channel, and by the way, I would still fight for my channel. If they ever took it, I'm in touch with lawyers. I just want to let everybody know that. Oh, that's great. You don't want to let me make money on it, that's fine. I just can't believe that they can get away. Let me see if I can find it, because I never go there anymore.
Private company, they can do what they want.
They're not a private company. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. They're partnered with the military-industrial complex on multiple levels via Google, via NASA, via the NSA. They are a Trojan horse civilian system. Do not let them lie. Okay, so there's the urn. Okay, so here it is. Yeah, I was able to bring it up. Great.
Sure.
Let's just shoot it over. Can you imagine how I could destroy this? And this is the only reason, apparently, that I'm not allowed to make money, because I have harmful content that focuses on controversial issues and that is harmful to viewers. What does that even mean?
Man.
I mean, I'm seriously, like, what does that even, that is
harmful content.
That is
Stuff
one
that
sentence.
Makes us feel icky.
First of all, I think that's defamation, by the way, YouTube. Watch your tone with me. Watch your tone. And who did I hurt? You have to prove I've hurt somebody.
Nope.
Who have I been harmful to with my material? Huh? Everything I've done has been from mainstream sources. Every time I've speculated, I've said so. And that's not why you've taken me down. And you know it. Content that focuses on controversial issues and that is harmful to viewers. How dare you? How dare you? That means it must it
Well,
must
the
have been
truth-
June 19th.
The truth, the news is harmful. That's what they're saying. That's what they're trying to tell people.
I mean, again, I just, it makes me very upset that I even have to deal with this Johnny nonsense. All right, I got another video.
In America, to say the least.
Yeah,
It's 2023 in America. we're talking about what we're allowed to say. This is ridiculous.
Ridiculous indeed. Okay, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. I watched this kid. It's going around different outlets. And I thought to myself, you know, what would it be like to be like a 10 or 12-year-old kid at this point? Like, what is that? What is that experience like? Because they had the drag show at my high school. They snuck it in, John, about a week and a half ago. So just so everybody knows, if you didn't hear it on the show earlier today, they had a pep rally, mandatory pep rally. Everybody goes to the pep rallies. Got everybody in the gymnasium, and then they rolled out the biological males dressed as women, and then an alleged trans kid.
Do sexual movements.
What's happening? What's happening? And this kid really breaks down the racial issues, I think, better than I've heard before. And, you know, I'm going to try to let him, it's a 5-minute video, but I'm going to try to let him run through it on his own, and we'll watch it. But what I thought was one of the most poignant things is that, you know, he talks about being sat down and lectured about equity and diversity and all these other races. And then, you know, basically his race is never even talked about, or, you know, the majority of the kids that are there. And then throughout like this training, now when he's introduced to a kid or he meets somebody, the first things he notices is race. And that never happened before. You know, that wasn't even on his mind. And now, like, that's the first thing that comes to mind. So let's play this clip. I think this is a powerful one.
Hi, my name is Brad Taylor, and I just finished my freshman year at RHS. I've been a part of District 196 schools now for 10 years, and I'm going to give you a glimpse today of what's actually going on inside these schools. Despite the board's attempt to deny it, District 196 schools are quickly becoming a place where promoting activism is actually more important than promoting education. I'll take you back to my first day at RHS this fall. The principal came out and gave us a heartfelt speech about equality and standing together. He began to list countless races, such as Latino, Asian, expressing how much they matter and how important they are. But never once did he mention a race or identity that reflects me, or half the kids that were in the class. Now, members of the board, I know you haven't been to school in a while, and I know none of you, or most of you, don't have any kids left in the school district. But you must admit how uncomfortable it will be to be characterized just by your skin color on the first day of school and be thought that you were wrong just because of your skin color. So I'll never forget the look one of my friends gave me from across the room as we were sitting there listening to this blatant bias being expressed in the so-called equity statement by the leader of our school. To be clear, I don't need you to tell me that I matter, but hearing the condolences given to other races and leaving just one race out, inevitably you'll start to feel like you've done something wrong. And in our principal's attempt to unify us, he instead created unwarranted boundaries and barriers between his students, pitting us against each other based on characteristics that we can't control. In another separate instance, I was told that writing "All Lives Matter" on the whiteboard was political and could be seen as offensive. When I questioned the teacher after class, she told me that she didn't have an answer and she just had to erase it, and it was quickly erased. There are political signs all over RHS, about specific races that matter, specific sexual orientations that matter, and specific perspectives that matter. But when I questioned the RHS administration about how these signs were political, they told me that they were supporting human rights. So when I questioned why the equity statement couldn't represent all students, they told me that to even ask that question was outlandish and offensive. And when I asked why that was, they told me, quote, "Whites have a pretty good situation right now," unquote. So is that not racism? Disregarding my question merely because of the color of my skin? To be honest, after enduring a year of the people in charge telling me that I'm a racist and I'm privileged and pointing out our irreversible differences, I've never noticed race more. And it's becoming the first thing I notice when I meet someone, which has never before been the case. RHS administration confidently told me that RHS students and staff are happy with their equity statement. But from my experience in talking with other students, this is not the case. I know many kids who disagree with their teachers, but they're too scared to stand up because they're worried that their grades will be docked and their learning experience will be affected. My honors government teacher, I'm not going to say his name, but he's mentioned that Democrats care more about all people while Republicans only care about themselves. And he's also inferred to us that socialism is better than democracy. He even had a statue. He had a statue of a socialist leader in his classroom. I've been told by a lot of kids that they just stay silent and adjust their schoolwork to reflect an acceptable opinion to secure a good grade. I've been approached by multiple teachers who have told me in private that they just want to say that they agree with me and they support me standing up, but they can't say it in front of the class for fear of being disciplined by the administration in some way or losing their jobs. There is clearly only one way to think in this district, and that is that they are teaching their kids to shut up if they don't agree. Now, members of the board, I want you to take a good look at yourselves in the mirror tonight and ask, are you really standing up for the equality of all people, or are you just pushing a damaging political ideology on our students? A fellow coworker at my job, who, by the way, is of color, discreetly told me that the schools seem to be pushing a very leftist agenda in class. This proved that not everyone is happy with your school, and not everyone who isn't happy is white. Now, due to all these instances I've mentioned and many more that I can't fit in this 5-minute speech, I've decided to leave this district and continue school on a private Christian school online. And there will be sacrifices, and I will not get to walk in the graduation ceremony or attend milestones at RHS, but I will be able to learn in an environment that is not intent on punishing me daily for my skin color and political views. Now, regardless of how you take my speech, whether you just shrug it off as malarkey or Fox News talking points, I encourage you to think about it, because someday I'm going to be a leader. I may be the president, a governor, or just a professional golfer, but I will never stop believing that everybody has value, no matter their skin color or personal beliefs, and it's a shame that you're not going to be able to say that I was an alumni of RHS in District 196. Thank you.
And by the way, normally I don't like golf, but he rocked the golf shirt, and he did his thing, and he did it without shame, and we need more of that with our youth. I mean, what were your thoughts on that?
No, you'll be surprised. People think that the next generation's done for, but no, there's Generation Z. There's a lot of people who are rejecting that wokeism like hardcore. I'm more afraid of a totalitarian, like dictator ruler type person popping up from Generation Z than I am of them going completely drag show.
Well, look, man, I think that we're getting fast tracked, obviously, for not only metaverse stuff, but we're one crisis away from a very, very different world, unfortunately. We've already
manufactured crisis.
I mean, are we allowed to say that on YouTube? Oh my goodness, YouTube! Oh, has there been manufactured crisis? Yeah, and we don't have a poopy pants puppet in there who can even barely speak when he's next to Zelensky, right? And again, they hate you so much. They told you they were giving money for pensions to people in Ukraine when they're looting your pensions and poisoning Ohio. Anyway. I got like 3 more stories we can do on this side. And then if you are a Rockfin subscriber, please come over to Rockfin. We love you. The links are down below.
Dirty. We get dirty on the Rock.
We're going to get on the Rockfin, but also we'll be on Rumble as well. And remember, even in the morning show that goes premium over at redvoicemedia.com/Jason, and I encourage you to please subscribe over there. You still get all the audio in real time in podcast form for both hours every single day at Podbean. You know, I actually I lose money on the Podbean, guys. Just so everybody knows, I lose the money. I cash it out myself, just for you guys. All right. So let's talk about this. The UK must prepare for biosecurity threats to come. So here's the deal. Yeah, they're going to have it both ways in a second, John. This is where we're going to get.
No, I mean, the first thing I think of, anytime they're like, must prepare for threats, whatever it is, I'm thinking like, okay, cash register going, change, because they're going to ring up some huge mass amount of money that has to pay for it all, right?
Well, not only that, but it gives them a great excuse. Anytime something happens, let's just read this. Okay? Advances in biotechnology have potentially made it easier to create or modify deadly pathogens. No kidding. Lowering the barriers for adversarial state and extremist organizations. Oh, those good old extreme. Who's been called an extremist lately? What are the talking points there? Extremist organizations to develop biological weapons. Referring to the 2018 Novichok attack in Salisbury, the UK's integrated review has warned of a realistic possibility that terrorists will launch a successful chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear attack by 2030. So they also talk about, of course, whether through malign intent or human error. They never posit that governments would do this to their own people, even though I had Ian Crossland of Timcast on this week, and I showed him in the Rebuilding America's Defenses PNAC document, the one where they said, boy, unless we have a new Pearl Harbor, we're going to have a very long change. And then they got their new Pearl Harbor. In that document, they talk about specific genotype biowarfare that goes beyond terrorism and is a useful political tool, quote unquote. Let me repeat that, everybody. Useful political tool. But we can't say, okay, that the governments would do this on purpose. So they're setting it up in this article big time for both things that are able to happen. Boy, there's more of these laboratories than ever. There could be a leak. Or the bad white supremacists working with ISIS could unleash hell on earth. Okay? You ready for the next threat, John? Well, if we can't have it that way, forget nuclear war or global warming, America is still fundamentally unprepared for zoonotic disease, the biggest threat to humankind.
Zoonotic.
Yeah, natural diseases. Oh, it's Harvard and NYU. They went to Harvard, John. The WHO is preparing for bird flu pandemics.
Oh my goodness.
After infections spotted in mammals. Oh.
Gonna get zebra pox.
All right. With that being said, now's the time that we're going to go over to the other platforms, everybody. Again, you want to support this broadcast, redvoicemedia.com/Jason, a great way to do it. Or go to rockfin.com/Jason Bermas. It's $10 a month. Actually, it's $15 a month over there now. I don't want to lie to people. And they still haven't made it so that you can name your own price for just me. I really appreciate. I mean, you get Fitch. You get a ton of other great creators over there. Jimmy Dore is over there. Paul Joseph Watson, Jay Dyer. I could talk about a multitude of people over there. But it is $15 a month now. Red Voice Media, just $10 a month. Both support me. I just want to say that. Or you can directly donate to the Buy Me a Coffee. So please, if you do have a Rockfin and you are a subscriber, go watch the rest of this there. Otherwise, over at Rumble.
Hit the like.
Yeah, hit the likes. Thumbs it up. And we actually, listen, I'm going to show some people. I don't want to say anything, John, so let's not comment on these stories. But let's give a teaser what we're going to be showing people, okay? So the teasing. All I'm going to say is that those are some Israeli Pfizer documents. We're going to get into that. Yeah. Oh,
What kind of joke is this?
John, let's not even say anything about it. That's
Oh my God.
exactly. So this is what we'll be covering when we go over there. We're going to be talking about this. Okay. Again, more Pfizer stuff. Okay. We're going to be talking about this. Remember that the disappearance of the you-know-what that I was like, hey, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. We're going to talk about
Take a break.
a whole lot of this, guys. Again, can't really talk about it much, but
Little to no difference. But people still wear them in their car by themselves.
And even at the New York Times. So
like it's freaking Halloween or something.
Fitch, tell the YouTube audience where they can find everything John Fitch.
Go to johnfitch.net. Sign up for the newsletter. Yeah, you can pretty much find everything from